Hey there, I'm Tony DeCopo. Welcome to The Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well. Among them, a pizza maker who runs a crust fund. You heard that right. It's his way to pass along money as well as pizza. And an ultimate frisbee team who learns success not by winning, but by losing. This is a story of resilience coming up. Also, a young boy who is putting down the gadgets but lifting up his town with a newspaper. And two friends brought together by fate in the 1950s reconnect again decades later when they find themselves in the same place at the right time. Plus, meet the crossing guard who not only protects drivers and pedestrians, he lifts them up in his own unique way. Also, a military homecoming you're not going to want to miss. All that and more heartwarming news. You're watching The Uplift. Hey there, welcome to The Uplift, the show that lifts you up for the next 30 minutes, at least you. I like to say me as well, and we're going to begin with a lesson in losing. No one likes to lose, but sometimes it's inevitable, and for one team, it is almost a given, you might say. Here's Steve Hartman with the story.
Get your gear right.
This team is getting ready for some exercise in futility. For try as they might, the Detroit Mechanics will almost certainly lose to the Madison Radicals.
Detroit, come on, boys!
The game is ultimate frisbee, a sport where you pass a disc down the field to score points. But as we first reported a couple months ago, you don't need to know how to play to sympathize. For 7 years, the Mechanics lost every single game. The longest losing streak in professional sports history, 77 straight.
Yeah, there's not a lot of respect you get from playing for the Mechanics.
We're definitely the butt of a lot of jokes. Come on out, watch the team lose. Why are they still around?
They're still around because team owner and coach Brent Steep refuses to give up.
Have you ever thought of firing yourself?
Yes, multiple times, and I wish I could. Nobody wants to step up and do this job.
So,
We're on our way to Madison.
every weekend, May through July, Brent and his players carpool across the country to lose at the hands of someone new.
But as badly as the Mechanics want this streak to end, over the years they've also come to a pretty profound realization that for every loss, there's a gain.
Yeah, you get a lot more patience.
Teaches you a lot of resiliency. Losing is just another opportunity to grow.
The growth continued at this game.
Detroit will extend their losing streak to 78 games.
But that's when we saw something remarkable. A celebration. This is what happens when you measure success not by winning, but by improving. The Mechanics scored more points than any other game all season, and they were thrilled just to be one step closer to victory.
It'll be so nice.
Tears will definitely come out.
I think it's going to be wild, and I think I'm going to find out.
And not long after we first told this story, find out they did.
The game is over! The streak is over!
Their coach is glad it's over, but also grateful for the experience.
Have a win!
Isn't that the greatest thing we can do is give people something that they can look back fondly on and say, I did that.
Cheers to redemption. Steve Hartman on the road in Madison, Wisconsin.
Coming up, extra, read all about it. A story about a young boy in Boston who put down the gadgets and turned back to newspapers. Plus, a soldier's homecoming you are not going to want to miss. Many kids watch TikTok videos or play games on their phones, but a young boy in Boston has decided to do something else. He's gone all the way back to the newspaper. Here's David Wade with the story.
This is Waterman Road in Roslindale. It has 25 homes and one very young newspaper publisher with a staff of 2.
It's kind of just me and my mom.
11-year-old Joseph Zyber spends every Monday afternoon putting together the Waterman News, a single-page newspaper with all the news fit to print, as long as it's news about Waterman Road.
My mom told me to do something with my brain.
Joseph, like most 11-year-olds, likes to play video games and be on his tablet. His parents, like most parents, would prefer that he wasn't. And so this summer, his mother gave him a project.
We told both of our kids to do something with their brain and something with their body. I was on my iPad too much.
But now he's hopping all over town in his froggy hat.
Like, Thursday is print and deliver. Then on Friday I play with my friends.
This is print day, so the first stop is the library.
I've been doing this for like a couple months now, and yeah, I'm really proud of myself.
No doubt he has delivered. 18 issues to be exact. He's investigated grocery store prices, spread the word about Porch Fest, and so much more.
There was a garden tour that I did that was kind of big.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything good in there this week?
That's Philip Anastasia. He loves seeing Joseph deliver the Waterman news. Brings back rich memories of being a paper boy.
See ya.
Well, at that age, where could you make $3 a week or something?
Yeah. But Joseph doesn't earn $1. He gets paid in self-confidence.
My social skills have improved, definitely.
And his neighbors, like Mo Pepin, are getting more than headlines.
Community. Yeah, it's truly brought the neighborhood together.
I know a lot more people than I did before I started the newspaper, and it is very special.
Because of Joseph, every mailbox on this road is stuffed with something extra. Extra. Read all about it in the Waterman News.
More than 500 Minnesota National Guard soldiers deployed in Kuwait are now on a new mission, heading back home to their families just in time for the new year. Here's Jonah Kaplan from CBS Minnesota.
This was the moment Major Tommy Miller returned to Minnesota on December 14th.
Yeah.
10 days later, his boys still won't let go.
I feel loved. I feel special. I feel protected.
The whole family is still feeling the feels. Miller was one of the more than 550 Minnesota National Guard soldiers in the 34th Infantry Red Bulls that spent 10 months in Kuwait. Not a wartime mission per se, but still in a rough neighborhood, and never more apparent than when Iran twice launched hundreds of missiles at Israel. The U.S., Israel, and other allies shot down almost all of them.
We went to a bunker a couple times. It's always the unknown, of what's going to happen, what's going to happen next, what's reactions.
Back in Minnesota, what happens next for the Red Bulls is a few weeks off to spend time with family and friends.
I wanted to make sure that I was coming back as best I possibly could.
And reintegrate themselves into the so-called normal routine. And it's easier said than done.
For me, one of the hardest part was understanding that I'm the disruptor. My family has lived for 10 months, done everyday things, just normal individual things for 10 months, and it's been fine. And all of a sudden, you insert me into the mix.
The major's wife, Alex, says that's a good problem.
I'm happier too. Being a solo parent, it can get a little wearing, and so my mood has picked up, and so then they feel that too. And so it's just like this, we're all just happy again.
I spent a lot of time on the deployment thinking about how I want to live when I come back from the deployment. So, the kind of father and husband I want to be to my kids, that's really helped me put things in perspective.
What a gift of being in each other's presence. Better than anything you can wrap under a tree. In Lake Elmo, Jonah Kaplan, WCCO News.
Without me being there.
Coming up, two friends who met more than 60 years ago end up in the very same place decades later. See how fate brought them together for a second time. And you may have heard of trust funds, but what about a crust fund? We'll show you the new concept of passing on money with pizza pie. Fate brings together people who are meant to meet. We've got the story of two friends who met in the 1950s and were then brought together again decades later. Here's Nick Zechevich from CBS Los Angeles.
Let's get rid of all these people. Let's just have our drinks.
Whether it's their morning coffee or a glass of wine at sunset, Irma Cameron and Joanne Gates take in the beautiful view from this terrace at Everly Senior Community in San Clemente every day. They have so much to reflect on.
We had good lives.
We had a good life.
In fact, both Irma and I talk quite often about our lives.
Fate brought the two together in 1954. Both in their 20s, newly married, they moved into homes right next door to one another on Lark Allen Boulevard in West Covina. And the rest is history.
It was just a matter of time before we made a hole in the fence.
My husband put the hole in the wood fence.
Becoming close like sisters.
She was just a kid, and I was older. 2 years.
No, 3, baby.
Am I 97? No,
95.
95. Don't take years away from me.
She's 97 if she wants to be.
In 1969, Joanne moved away thanks to, as she put it, her wandering Irishman of a husband.
I moved probably in a lifetime 17 times.
Irma stayed on Lark Allen for 70 years, seeing many come and go, but kept in touch with her favorite neighbor over the phone. Fast forward to summer of 2023, and fate brought them together again.
And here's your ticket.
In her 90s, Joanne felt it was time to downsize. She moved into Everly. She barely had time to settle in before she got an unexpected but welcome surprise. Thanks to a little planning from their kids, Irma was moving next door.
I'm loving it.
Yeah?
Oh,
I am
I am loving it. We knock on wood
Well,
all the time.
I don't know, Joe. Don't exaggerate.
Oh, okay. I'm very happy.
It's wonderful that we were able to get back together here and be neighbors.
We have a great time. We laugh all the time together,
And,
as you
and
can
when
tell.
she's real quiet, I make her laugh. I do.
Yes, you do. You make me laugh, darling. You always have.
That's as good as it gets.
Still growing, still laughing, and this time, no need for any holes in fences.
I'm so happy that we're spending our last years together. What'll we cheer to, baby? Not another 71 years, though. Let's cheer for another couple of years together. Okay.
In San Clemente, Nick Zechevich, KCAL News.
You may have heard of people getting money from a trust fund, but how about a crust fund? Charlie DeMar spoke to the Chicago pizza maker who came up with that concept.
By day, it's just an ordinary alley, but one night a month, it's the drive-thru for Chicago's most exclusive pizzeria.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks so much. Happy
Enjoy.
holidays.
The cheese, the crust, just absolute perfection.
I am so excited for this. I've been wanting to get this since like summer.
Hanny Pay lucked into one of this month's very limited edition Crust Fund pizzas, donating $160 in exchange for one of only 12 thin crust pies.
I got a DM and just decided, okay, well, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be looking for an alley somewhere and we'll have an adventure.
The alley is behind John Crother's garage, and his creations usually sell out minutes after he opens online reservations.
Pizza, grab some beer.
The recipe is rooted in love and kindness.
I don't take any money for these pizzas, and what you do is you make a donation to the charity of the month that we designate, and you get a pizza, and I get to know that this place that means a lot to me is seeing more money this month.
His pizza passion started in 2020 as a weekly pandemic relief ritual for his family.
We talked about it, and I figured that if the only thing I could do was make pizza, then the only thing I could do was make pizza for the people out there making a difference.
Since then, his thin crusts have raised over $80,000, a lot of dough for charities around Chicago. The $832 this month helped Yanni Demoulas buy toys for kids spending the holidays in the hospital.
It took zero convincing. I sent him one message about it, and he was immediately in.
What do you get, ultimately, from all this? I get to make pizza that I'm really proud of, and I think that if Chicago gets just the tiniest little lift from what we're doing here, then it's worth it.
Charlie DeMar, CBS News.
Take care.
Chicago.
Coming up, we'll introduce you to a crossing guard who not only keeps drivers and pedestrians safe, he also lets them know they're important.
Everybody, no exceptions, wants to feel important. I want them to feel important. I want them to feel beautiful. I want them to feel needed. And I want them to feel safe. You see, even sometimes I direct a little bit of traffic.
Simple acts of kindness come in many forms. You can pay for the person in line behind you. You can hold open a door. David Begnaud met a man whose favorite act of kindness is a simple wave.
Oh, you guys are so beautiful. Don, so good to see you in Georgia. Oh, this isn't fair. You guys just melt me.
Every school morning, week after week.
That is a great wave you have and an even better smile. Thank you so much.
For years now, This man has been standing on the street with something nice to say.
Good morning. You are so beautiful. Have a great day.
His wish for a good day
Have a wonderful day.
is for everyone,
Good morning. Do I get a double
particularly
fist
the
bump,
children
baby? What do you
on
think?
their way to school.
Oh, boom. Thank you.
It's for the laborers on their way to do hard work.
Oh, buenos dias, mis amigos. Gusto de verte. ¿Cómo estás?
What he does is constant. For 79-year-old Dick Kazan, an average guy with an above-average goal.
Everybody, no exceptions, wants to feel important. I want them to feel important. I want them to feel beautiful. I want them to feel needed. And I want them to feel safe. You see, even sometimes I direct a little bit of traffic.
It started off as something simple, meet my neighbors, control the traffic. But what has it become for you over the last 7 years that is so much deeper?
I get a feeling of love. I do. I know that a lot of these people are moved by me.
It's gotten to the point to where you know them on a first name basis. I saw you, they roll down the window and you start calling out the kids' names.
Yes, I make it a point to learn the names because if you want to make people feel important, you've got to learn their names. Joe, have a wonderful workout.
If he misses a day, everybody asks where he is. So I think he just instills community.
Dick Kazan lets people know that they're important, starting in his own neighborhood.
I greet them in supermarkets, I greet them in the gym.
And so many of those people show their appreciation right back.
April 15th, 2017, Trader Joe's parking lot.
Yes.
Dear kind man, I was having a rough morning, dealt with not so friendly people, but you made my day when you surprised me and told me you too have a nice day.
I saw a woman coming out of the store and she looked really depressed. I just came up to her with a smile. I went in to shop. When I came back, she'd scribbled that on a napkin and left that for me. Yes.
It must have made quite the impression.
I could see a different person than the one I greeted just a few minutes earlier.
There are more notes on the wall of his home office, valued alongside family photos. But missing are the awards and plaques of a businessman and a company founder to signify the person that he used to be.
In the past, I was driven, I came from not the best childhood, and I was determined to make a lot of money, and I did. I made a fortune. And I was not a very nice person. I was a really driven person. I was an honest man, but a really driven man. And people didn't enjoy me, to be perfectly frank, other than maybe my immediate family. That was pretty much it.
What did y'all do? What type of...
It was computer leasing, high technology leasing.
Hmm.
We had about $2 billion. I mean, it was a very big company with offices nationwide.
His home office is now the world headquarters of the Kazan Today. It's his online newsletter with a distribution of about 1,000 that has recipes for success and little droplets of inspiration.
So you were in your 40s when you made this personal pivot.
It was on my 46th birthday.
And you've been a different man since?
It didn't happen overnight. I began a transition.
An overachiever who was even a bodybuilder points to an unlikely tapestry of acclaimed men who he says gave him guidance.
It's Michelangelo, it's John D. Rockefeller, George Bernard Shaw, Gandhi. I needed some inspiration to kind of guide me there. With Gandhi, at times I found myself lost in the process. So did he. Michelangelo, he says to us, the greater danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it's too low when we reach it. Right. That's most people. Good morning, Carla. So nice to see you.
And they somehow led him to share a very simple message.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jake. How are you doing?
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Great day.
What he does day in and day out resonated so deeply with Philip Hartwell, an investment banker who wrote to me about how his Palos Verdes estate neighborhood in suburban Los Angeles has been made better by Dick Kazan.
What was the takeaway you wanted when you wrote to me for people to get from seeing this?
I just wanted people to know that there still are good people here and that, you know, you start the kids off, and whether the kids appreciate it, I'm sure the parents do, that you're starting them off on a good note.
Good morning, young man. So nice to see you.
What would the old Dick Kazan think about what you do today here out in front of your home?
He'd never do this.
Really?
Never do this.
Really?
He would say, what is wrong with you? You gave up that great big house. And he thought in terms of money, drove Porsches, that Dick Kazan. And he was always in a hurry. And he always had his watch out for any meeting or whatever. If this wasn't making money, he wouldn't do it. Wow. And I mean, that's how driven that Dick Kazan was. No small talk, no jokes.
His words are seemingly small,
You are so beautiful, you're going to charm everybody today.
but there is a big message behind them.
Thank you so much.
So the old Dick Kazan would have probably looked at that and thought, waste of time, waste of money.
That's exactly it. Waste of time, waste of money. Doesn't that man have something better to do with his life?
And the 79-year-old Dick Kazan thinks,
my God, it's the most important thing he's ever done aside from being a husband and a father.
Dick Kazan, a neighborhood star, more dependable than the mighty sun to brighten your morning. You see, he doesn't just wish folks a good day. His simple act of kindness makes it happen.
Great smile, thank you.
That's our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, you know what I always say, reruns, they remain free. Press play again and get uplifted. I'm going to find some good news.